The rain had been falling since morning, not the gentle kind that calms the streets, but the heavy kind that washes colors away and makes the world feel smaller. Cars rushed past with their headlights on, people hurried under umbrellas, and no one noticed the little boy standing near the old bus stop at the edge of the city. He couldn't have been more than 9. His jacket was too thin for the weather, the sleeves slightly torn, the zipper broken. Wet hair clung to his forehead, and his shoes were soaked through, but he stood very still, like he was afraid that even the smallest movement might make things worse. From a distance, he looked like any other child waiting for a bus. Up close, something was wrong. His eyes kept scanning the street, not with curiosity, but with fear. Not the kind that comes from being lost, but the kind that comes from being watched. His hands trembled, not from the cold alone. He kept lifting one hand slightly, then dropping it again, as if he were practicing something he wasn't sure he should do. Across the street, a motorcycle roared to a stop. It was loud, deep, and impossible to ignore. A Hell's Angel stepped off the bike. Leather jacket, heavy boots, tattoos crawling up his neck and disappearing under his collar. Rain slid off his shoulders as if it knew better than to linger. People nearby instinctively stepped back. Some crossed the street, others lowered their eyes. He didn't seem to notice or care. He removed his helmet, revealing a face marked by years of road dust, wind, and stories no one ever bothered to ask about. His beard was speckled with gray. His eyes were sharp, alert, and far more observant than most people expected. He lit a cigarette, took a slow drag, and that's when he saw the boy. At first, it was just a glance. Then he looked again. The boy wasn't staring at the motorcycle or the tattoos or the leather. He was staring at the man's eyes, like he was trying to decide something important. His lips pressed together, then parted slightly. His hand rose again, this time higher. The biker frowned. The boy slowly curled his fingers into his palm. Then he tucked his thumb inside. And then, very deliberately, he closed his fist. It was subtle, almost nothing, but the biker froze. The cigarette burned between his fingers as memories surged forward. Training videos, awareness talks, stories shared quietly in clubhouses, about signs that most people miss. About children who can't scream. About signals designed to be invisible to the people causing the fear. A signal for help. The biker crushed the cigarette under his boot. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He did what he'd learned to do on the road. Stay calm, stay sharp, don't make a scene too early. He crossed the street slowly. The boy's breathing quickened when he realized the man was coming toward him. For a moment, fear flashed across his face, and he almost turned away. Almost. But then the biker crouched down in front of him, keeping his voice low, steady, unthreatening. "Hey, kid," he said. "You waiting for someone?" The boy nodded. "Who?" The boy hesitated. His eyes flicked toward a dark sedan parked a little too far down the street, engine running, windows tinted. A man sat inside, watching. My uncle," the boy whispered. The biker didn't look at the car. "Not yet. That jacket doesn't look warm enough for this weather," he said casually. "You cold?" The boy nodded again. The biker slowly unzipped his own jacket and draped it around the boy's shoulders. It was huge on him, heavy with the smell of leather and rain, but the warmth was instant. The boy's shoulders relaxed just a little. "Mind if I stand here with you for a bit?" the biker asked. "Rain's a pain when you're alone." The boy shook his head. "No, sir." The biker stood up and positioned himself just slightly in front of the boy. To anyone watching, it looked like a harmless interaction. A biker killing time. A kid waiting for a ride. But the biker's body blocked the view of the boy completely. Across the street, the man in the sedan shifted in his seat. The biker finally turned his head and looked directly at the car. The eye contact lasted only a second. But it was enough. The man looked away first. The biker reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and pretended to scroll. In reality, he was texting someone he trusted. Short, clear, no drama. Possible child in danger. Bus stop on 8th and Miller. Black sedan watching. Need eyes. Within seconds, a reply came. On it. The biker exhaled slowly. "You did the right thing," he murmured to the boy without looking down. "You're brave." The boy's voice was barely audible. He said if I told anyone, he'd hurt my mom." The biker's jaw tightened. "Listen to me," he said gently. "You're not in trouble. You're not alone. And no one's hurting your mom today. I promise." The boy clutched the oversized jacket with both hands. Rain continued to fall, but time seemed to slow. A police cruiser turned the corner at the far end of the street, then another. They didn't rush in with sirens. They parked casually, like they belonged there. Officers stepped out, spreading naturally, quietly. The man in the sedan noticed. The engine revved. The biker noticed too. He took one step forward, planting his boots firmly on the wet pavement. He didn't threaten. He didn't shout. He simply stood where he was, broad shoulders squared, eyes locked on the car. The sedan hesitated. Then, slowly, it pulled away. An officer made a note of the license plate before it disappeared around the corner. Another officer approached the biker. "You the one who called?" she asked softly. The biker nodded and stepped aside so the boy was visible again. The officer crouched down, smiling warmly. "Hey there, I'm glad you're safe." The boy's eyes filled with tears, but he didn't cry. Not yet. An ambulance arrived, lights off, just in case. A blanket was wrapped around the boy. Someone offered him hot chocolate from a nearby cafe. The biker took off his jacket completely and handed it to the officer. "Make sure he keeps it," he said. "It's cold out. You want it back later?" she asked. He shook his head. "He needs it more." The boy looked up at him, eyes wide. "Thank you," he whispered. The biker knelt down again, meeting him at eye level. "Remember this," he said quietly. "Your voice matters, even when it's silent. Especially then." The boy nodded. As the officers led the boy toward safety, people around the bus stop began to murmur. Some looked shocked, others ashamed. A few wiped their eyes. They had all been there. They had all walked past. They had all missed it. Except one man everyone assumed was dangerous. The biker walked back to his motorcycle as the rain finally began to ease. He paused, looking down the street where the sedan had vanished. He knew this wasn't the end of the boy's story, but it was the moment it changed. He put on his helmet, started the engine, and rode off, leaving behind nothing but tire tracks on wet pavement and a lesson the street would never forget. Sometimes heroes don't wear badges. Sometimes they wear leather. And sometimes, the smallest signal saves a life.